Hello. This is my second time filming this video because I filmed it earlier during the day with natural lighting and I was being lazy, didn't want to edit it just yet, decided, you know what, I'll do it at nighttime when it's chill, the vibes are right. The audio was not on whatsoever. I totally forgot to put my mic on. So, attempt number two, hopefully it'll be as genuine as the first one. I don't see why not. I have my little notebook here so that I can discuss my February reads and watches. So let's just get into it. I'm going to start off with my books, which now I'm realizing I am on the wrong page. I didn't read a lot in February. I didn't watch a lot in February as well. I did a lot of working and sleeping, lots of sleeping. We're going to start with Dante's Inferno. I spent the first 2 weeks of February trying to get through this book, but if you watched my previous videos on books that I DNF'd, I DNF'd Dante's Inferno. I am not a religious person, I'll be honest with you guys, and that book is very religious and philosophical at the same time. It was more of a poem, if I'm being technical with it. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I didn't read Dante's Inferno because I just didn't like it. That's it. It wasn't for me, and that's okay. Then a book I did complete is Goodbye Sugumi by Banana Yoshimoto. The book was a quick short read. I did take my time with it, I'll be honest. I did take my time with it because it was just like a slow paced book. There wasn't really too much of a climax going on. It was just a comfort read. I did like it, although I still much prefer Hard Boiled and Hard Luck. Then I finished The Cost of Living by Deborah Levy, and I read that book because it was recommended by a YouTuber that goes by Grandpa's Book Club. I love his recommendations, they have not failed me yet, and this was a good memoir. It was. I still much prefer Patti Smith's memoirs. Much better. I just started The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I came across a copy and read the first sentence, and I'm a firm believer if I read the first sentence of a book that I'm going to like it. And I haven't been wrong so far. There have been books where I've read the first sentence and I thought it was okay, and then the book just didn't hit. But so far, I'm really enjoying this one. I have not finished it. I just wanted to include it because I did start it in February. So far, so good. And I feel like this is going to be a top favorite and that I'm going to understand the hype of it. So that was it for books. Now I'm going to move on to movies. The first movie that I watched in February was Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice. I initially wanted to go see this movie with some friends and get dressed, follow along with the theme. It just never happened. That's fine. I ended up watching it alone. Well, not really alone. That sounded a little sad. I watched it with Mipsy. Hopefully that doesn't sound even more sad, but I enjoyed it. You know, I'm glad that they included characters from the previous movies, and I'm not just talking about like the main people. I'm talking about like actual like the dead characters. And I liked how they played off the grandfather's death and casting him out of the movie. I'm glad that Michael Keaton, I'm pretty sure that's his name, got more screen time, and Jenna Ortega really killed her role as per usual. Then I watched Welcome Home, Roxy Carmichael, starring Winona Ryder. I tend to adore any movies that Winona Ryder is in, and it was a cute movie. It was just about a girl who was adopted by a lovely couple, kind of, maybe not the mom, and she becomes obsessed with this idea that a local star is her mother, and it's just a whole journey of her figuring things out. I don't want to say too much, I don't want to spoil it. I believe it's on HBO or Paramount. I'm not too sure. The last movie that I watched is Gia, about a supermodel, and that movie destroyed me. Yeah, it was a tough watch. I mean, it's about a supermodel who really she had it all. And then because of the harsh demands of the modeling world and industry, she mixed it up with drugs, and unfortunately, it led to her demise at a very young age. And Angelina Jolie did really well with portraying the character. I compared her to the actual supermodel. And yeah, I could see some similarities. I get why they chose her, but I wouldn't say it was a good movie just because of what it's about, you know. and I don't really have the words to describe this movie. I would recommend watching it just so you can learn more about Gia. I don't remember her last name exactly. I just something with a C, but I just remember that she preferred to go by Gia, just Gia. Then for YouTubers now, I have been watching two fashion related ones. I have Death by Thrifting. I recently discovered his channel and I enjoy his finds. He has really good finds. He just speaks well on his channel, and the segments about the media that he has been consuming lately, definitely like that. Vex Thrifts. I have been subscribed to her channel for quite some times now, and I adore her channel all around. Her as a person, and her finds are also amazing. They're so good. She has such good luck. Then we have Grandpa's Book Club. I have been watching Grandpa's Book Club like for the entire month of February on my way home to work, on the way back from work, while at work if there's downtime, while I'm home. It's just been my go to channel. His book recommendations have hit every time, and just the way that he discusses the books, you can just tell he's very passionate about it. It's just comforting and refreshing to see a YouTuber like that. As for other comfort YouTubers this month, Joyish, Michelle Nia, and Morgan Ann. That's about it for everything that I have read and watched for February, but I figured this video might be a little short, so why not include a secondhand book haul? I have about 8 books here. I recently discovered Pango Books, and I have gone feral with using that website. I initially went in to look for this first book, and because of how well everything went with it, I then bought more. So the first book that I purchased is Women Who Run with the Wolf by Clarissa Pinkola Estes. I first read this book in college and I really enjoyed it, but I ended up returning it and I just never picked it back up. Then I bought a copy from Goodwill, but it was just in such awful condition. I really didn't want to keep it. I believe I got this one for about $5 or $6 and it's in wonderful condition. I love the size of it. I'm glad it's paperback. And I will probably pick this book up when life feels right for it, when it calls to me. The next book, I'm actually gonna show you a book that I already read. I already mentioned it. The Cost of Living by Deborah Levy. Again, wonderful condition, short read, and this cover is gorgeous. I absolutely adore this cover. I didn't purchase the other one, which is Things I Don't Want to Know. I kind of regret not buying it because it was available and it matched this set, but maybe I'll come across it some other time. Who knows? Then we have The Waiting Years by Fumiko Enchi. I have been trying so hard to find another book by Miss Enchi. I don't know if it's because her work is limited. I've just been having, like I said, a difficult time finding her work. I kind of forgot what this one is about, so I'll probably put somewhere up on the screen a blurb of what this one is about, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to disappoint. Her first book was great, and if you don't know what her first book is, well, at least the first book that I read by her, it's Masks, and the plot of that one is so twisted. I really recommend it. Then this is by another author that I've been looking forward to reading more of his work, and it's The End of Me by Alfred Hayes. And this one, if I remember correctly, okay, Hollywood screenwriter who is going through life, aging, and these adjustments in his life. Then he gets involved with a young woman and a young man, and they form a really odd relationship. And I don't know if you've read any of Hayes' previous works, but I'm finding this similarity between them, and it's just odd relationships. That's really it. That's the best way to put it together. Also, I'm trying to grow my NYRB collection, so you will be seeing more of these. This copy is just gorgeous. Again, I don't know if you guys have noticed. Wonderful conditions from Pango Books. Another NYRB is The Suicides by Antonio Di Benedetto. I don't know if I said that correctly, but it is what it is. This book is about a reporter who is investigating 3 suicides, and as he goes through the investigation, even more suicides occur, and he kind of becomes too into the case. That's pretty much all I can say about this one, but the cover on this one is gorgeous. Then I have this one I was really excited about. I forgot which YouTuber recommended this one, but the way she or he, can't remember exactly, the way they described it really caught my attention, and it's Monsters, A Fan's Dilemma by Claire Detterer. And what really caught my attention, if I remember correctly, is that they discussed Michael Jackson. This book is about good art that was created by bad artists, quote unquote bad artists. So it's what do we do with that kind of art? What do we do with this information? And it just sounded really interesting to me. Again, what really piqued my interest was the possible potential Michael Jackson mention. We'll find out and I'll let you guys know. Then lastly, God, this book, beautiful, beautiful book. Such a letdown. Passion Simple by Annie Ernaux. Gorgeous little copy, very tiny, gorgeous cover. I mean, look at it, right? Completely in French. I had no idea that this version, especially if it says folio right here, that it was going to be in French. I feel dumb as heck, but it is what it is, and I'm definitely going to keep this copy just because it is cute, and I guess that's just the reader in me, the aesthetic reader in me, that I want to keep it. If you made it this far into the video, I appreciate you, and you are getting extra besitos. I am going to be doing a book unhaul. Some of these are the books that I mentioned in my DNF video, but some of them I did not. We're going to start with Dante's Inferno. Big copy. I already explained how I feel about this book. It's in wonderful condition, minus, I'll be honest, some annotations. I wouldn't even really call them annotations. I'm not really into doing annotating, but I gave it a shot with this one, and I'll put up some examples on the screen. But yeah, Dante's Inferno is going. Then I have the Phantom of the Opera. I also mentioned this one. I just didn't like it. It wasn't my cup of tea, and I much prefer the movie over this book. I feel like I might get a little bit of hate for this one, but it is Night Sky with Exit Wounds by Ocean Vuong. Just wasn't the poetry book for me, and I'm sure there's somebody out there that will greatly appreciate this more than I did. Then I have Big Swiss. I just haven't been hearing great things about this one, and I've kind of outgrown my unhinged female protagonist books. So I will be putting this one up for sale, maybe. I have Lament for Julia. Now, I did enjoy the main story, Lament for Julia, but the short stories in this book, I didn't get it. Maybe I don't have the brain for it, but it just didn't click with me, and hopefully somebody else will. I have mentioned this one also in the books that I DNF'd. It's The Idiot by Alif Batuman. Got into this book, didn't really get it. And when I say I didn't really get it, I don't mean like, oh, my brain is not braining right now. It wasn't the book for me. That's it. Lastly is A Touch of Jen. Beautiful copy, beautiful, beautiful, everything cover. I love the art on it and the color scheme. I haven't even cracked this book open. A friend of mine has this book as well, and everything she said about it so far has convinced me not to read it. With that being said, I am considering selling these books on Pango Books, so if I should do that, let me know. If not, there is a secondhand bookshop that I can sell it to, but if you guys would much enjoy any of these books, I'd be more than happy to do so. That brings me to the end of my video. I appreciate you guys being here, and I hope to see you next time.